Yeah, okay, cool. Right. Oh, I should have asked you as well.
Are we recording now?
Yeah, but I can kill this. I can trim this off. What name you want me to use? Because I don't know if you, like...
You can say my name, Nyasha. That's fine. Okay. Because I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
But I guess Miss Deadpool, if you want like a moniker, because it's like what I'm working across TikTok and YouTube. But.
We'll leave this is your social medias to the end.
Brilliant.
Nyasha.
Like your knee.
Nyasha. Okay, cool.
It's actually a good lead-in, because I can tell you where that Nyasha comes from.
Yeah, go for it.
Because growing up with a weird name, my mom was a preschooler teacher, and she found that she had like 3 Britneys in her class, and so when she was pregnant with me, she read this book called Mufasa's Beautiful Daughters, and basically it's an African version of Cinderella, and the princess's name is Nyasha, and her logic was when she said my name, she wanted to make sure I was the only one turning my head. So I ended up as Nyasha, and so my mom and dad, my dad knocked my mom up. My mom gave the option for him to give me his last name because she thought for sure he was fucking Moff Beck because framing, it's important.
Yeah.
My dad is Kiwi.
Okay.
My mom is American.
Okay.
My dad used to jump hemispheres for the skiing season. He was competitively skiing in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
He was in California for the competition in Mammoth, California. Mm-hmm. And my mom was a waitress. Mm-hmm. And he was put into her area. And she was actually kind of pissed about it because Australians back then didn't tip.
Yeah.
Because in their country they don't tip, and they didn't see it. They didn't understand that my mom was making $2.70 an hour. USD in the 1980s, and that their non-tip was actually her bread. Yeah. So anyway, when he was sat in her section, she was kind of a bit pissed off because not only could they not order a beer right because it was bear.
Yeah.
To her.
Yeah.
I'd like a bear, please.
Yeah.
What kind of bear?
Yeah.
Rawr. But they don't tip. So I don't know how. I never got the real story as to like how they hooked up because really I didn't want it. But she ended up knocked up. So the Australian Kiwi accent did something because I think he was the first Kiwi she had ever met.
Yeah.
Because he was with Australians, but 1980s. When were the Kiwi? Like the Kiwis didn't disperse really until.
Yeah. That's right. Didn't learn to fly.
Flightless.
Yeah.
So my dad had fucked off at 18 and, didn't stop fucking off until... So, they meet and get knocked up. My mom talks to my grandmother and says, there's no way this man is staying. And my grandmother says, you should at least give him the opportunity to give that baby his last name.
Yeah.
And so she sits him down and I'm pregnant and, I know you're not staying. I know your travel visa's up. So I just wanted do you want it to be Bagley or do you want it to be Cole? And my dad goes, give me 3 days. And he goes away for 3 days. Doesn't give her an answer. He goes away for 3 days. My mom, the way she told that story is that she never recalled what he did, nor did he. But he came back and he's like, okay, I'm in.
Wow.
Shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
My, at the time, Crocodile Dundee had just been published.
Oh.
And so that was kind of everyone's reference point for my father.
Yeah.
My granddad and my dad's sister, my aunt, came over for the wedding essentially to talk my dad out of it. Because they had basically gotten no notice that this was happening. Yeah. That they had to get a flight to come to this wedding. And they showed up, they met my mom and her family and was like, you know what? Actually, I think this might be good for him. Talk about what a life you've had to had. That was like, and so it's a little bit like your mate knuckling down, and when you find the right woman. And my mom stayed. Yeah. But so, all of this to tell you, this was an unlikely pair. Yeah. California got way too expensive, so they ended up going to Wisconsin to follow my mother's family. My uncle's a pastor. We grew up in the church. I was a hardcore Christian from 12 until 17. Yeah. And that's a culture thing. Like that's a you bury your head in that culture or you don't survive kind of thing. So but because my dad was from New Zealand, we had gotten to go to my aunt's wedding when I was 6. And so we had gotten to Wisconsin when I was 5. We went to New Zealand when I was 6. And they say stuff about people who like master things is that they find their thing at like 6 or 7 years old. And I think I found my thing by coming to New Zealand, because I landed here and there was a sense in my soul that this is where I was meant to be. And when I went back to the States, my introduction would be, hi, my name is, I'm moving to New Zealand. It was the first thing anybody ever learned about me. And so, and knowing it, about New Zealand as a 6-year-old pre-Lord of the Rings, that was niche knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one knew about you, man. Like, they left you off, you know? But yeah, once that threshold was crossed with Lord of the Rings, everyone would suddenly become enthralled with my story. And so when I left, so from 6 to 23, that was and it shaped my whole family's life, because my mom knew I wanted to be. And so it was kind of like every education level, I'd be like, I'm fucking off to New Zealand after this education. And it was like, it started at middle school. I was like, once I hit middle school, I'm fucking off. And then it was suddenly high school and then college. And so I got my university degree, but I cut that short too, because I was supposed to, I like this film experience I told you about. I have all of a bachelor's of finance. Yep. But I also have 3/4 of a film degree. Yeah. And avant-garde shit. Like, I can splice actual film. Yeah. Never learned to develop it, but I do develop. I can develop photography.
Oh wow! Really?
Well, developing film is really particular, but photography, it's just like seven different buckets. Yeah. And, like, remembering the order, and then you dry them off a bit and don't let the light in. Photography. Yeah. Simple. But so it was, I had a lot of the success in my film degree in the fact that, like, one of my first projects as a freshman was put into, like, the exhibit that would show on campus at the end of the year. And so to get in as a freshman was quite a big thing. I started out as an IT assistant within the school's education system of, like, technical services you could train up if you weren't in the business school. So everybody needed to learn how to work a spreadsheet or a Word document. So you could take these training classes. And so I was the student trainer of those classes. So like I had, because of my dad's experience in the tech industry, he had looked in the States and been like, that is the one that's developing. He really ducked his head in at the .com, and not that we got rich or anything, but he stuck to someone that was also into tech, and they basically created 3 or 4 companies in the States. He got himself an education through basically someone else paying it that way. And then what was supposed to be my second to last year in uni, they told me my dad had gotten laid off. And this is post 2008, but not by far, right? So the fact that he had kind of dodged the layoff in the beginning was kind of a big deal, but he had got a severance package. And we were that kind of, like, not like, my dad worked his ass so that we became middle income, but like severance packages were not a part of our world until that happened for him. And so, but my mom was always like, well, I know Nyasha's going to end up in New Zealand, so I love you, husband, but are you coming with us? So they used that package to get over here about a year earlier than I planned to graduate. But then I, as a finance student, had the knowledge to do a net present value of my education, of what I would make if I was a filmmaker, or what I would make as a finance officer. And even as a finance officer, to pay back what I had paid. And I will tell you the number I left with the States with in private debt.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a fun number. But American education system, right? They really, they sold our parents' houses and they sold us educations.
Yeah.
And that's, and there's no way you can give back an education.
Yeah.
So, I'll get into that. But so they left for New Zealand. They got jobs here. They got a place here. So I kind of had a landing pad, actually. Yeah. And I didn't have to hack it on my own. So I really appreciate, but I know that if I hadn't been from 6 years old being like, I am moving to New Zealand, they wouldn't have taken that seriously. You know? And I mean, I always said that my college education would pay for me to get over here, and it really has, in the way that everything's ended up for me. Because if I didn't have the particular background or knowledge, I wouldn't have been making what I was making when what happened. So yeah, when I left the States, I had a full business degree with a minor in national economics, because I was like, got to study international business, otherwise I'm going to have no idea what I'm doing out here. Got out here, still had no idea what I was doing. But because my dad had gotten to work with the transport agency, this is funny, because it circles back with Ben, I was going around taking my CV to places, because that was back when you could still do that, and that looked good for you. My dad invited me to lunch. I came up to the building at his floor and then met what would become my new boss, because he was looking for a finance major. Yeah. I had my CV. I just pulled it straight out of my little envelope. It was like, hello, I'm Nyasha. Yeah. And I had a job in the next 3 weeks. So, and it was like the kind of money that my net present value had averaged on the higher side. So I had never thought, like, medium was like 50K. Yeah. And I came here and they countered my offer, because I was like, in order to pay back my debts that I have, I'll need to have, like, I need to make X amount. And they came back and offered 5K more, because the minimum of the band was actually that bottom. And so I was like, holy fuck, they gave me more money. Yeah. They didn't like go, oh, nah, actually we'll take you at your cheapest rate. Thank you very much. Yeah. In the back. But yeah, so I ended up with this really good job. I had about 6 months of both non-payment on my debts in the States for student loans federally, and then my private loans also had a certain kind of time frame that there was a forbearance for. What happened during that time frame is our conversion went from 82 cents NZD to USD. So it was like, it was for every $1 New Zealand dollar, I would get 82 US cents. When I say that over a 6-month period, it went from 82 cents to 62 cents, and how much that changed my fucking life. Yeah, so, like, it's interesting, because I have always been kind of affected by the international balance of things, and like, my dad did me a favor in the fact that when he became a house owner, he leveraged his house and took in my private debt. So that like, I was my highest interest rate on one of my 8 loans in private equity, because they would not let you do one lump sum. You'd have to get a loan every year. For this. It's such a bit, man. It's like the U.S. when I say, and you can clip me saying this, when I say the U.S. is a prison, a panopticon, or a panopticon that they raise you into to accept. When Americans come here and they experience relaxation, they think it's just because they're on vacation. But what they don't realize is that they're not being advertised to every square inch of their existence here. We don't give a fuck. Our bartenders aren't working for tips. They're not nice to you just because they have to be, you know? Like, there's such a cultural mind difference. And but everyone in the States is both the nicest that they can be to customers and also hates them. And so everybody lives this life of dichotomy of where it's like they're just hand to mouth, and whether you are rich or poor, that is the mentality, because you didn't get rich by being kind. You know, and there's they say they've done studies now of where there's a psychopathy when you get to a certain amount of rich, and I've seen it in my father, I've seen it in friends. So I have kind of like, I've always had this personal debt that I've had to pay off to someone, whether it was a bank or my father. And I do appreciate my father taking in the interest rate, because I was subject to up to 12% on one of my loans, and it was my highest one, 12%. It was just like, I was never going to get out. And so he put it against this house, and like, and what was nice is at the time a house was always a good gamble. Not always now, but the way he had placed himself, because he had worked for the transport agency, there was a little bit of knowledge, and he just kind of knew that such and such exit would prove to be valuable, and he actually sold before that even came to fruition, but it has come to fruition. And so, you know, good for him. I'm glad he was able to come home and do well for himself, because he had to leave to build that expertise to come back and Yeah, so that's kind of crazy in of itself, that if he had stayed, he wouldn't have met my mom.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have existed Point Blank. You know, I would have been some, probably some Californian EMT, I imagine my mom would have ended up. She tells a story where, I can't remember the celebrity, but some celebrity in the 80s really took a gander to her one night. It took a shine to her in a bar one night, and my dad had to exert the fact that was his lady, and like she told that story till the day she died. Like, I could have ended up with so and so. You know, who knows if so and so would have been faithful? But my mom was a stunner. Like, she was beautiful. So I keep saying was. So the timeline got here at 2023. In 2013, worked for the transport agency for good 3 years, then moved to the fire service, became a data analyst for them. I started out by operating, basically keeping up the standard operating procedures. So when you call a firefighter, or when you call 111 in this country, it goes to the comm center, which is manned by firefighters. So the first person you always talk when they say fire, ambo, or police, that is a firefighter. If you go on to keep talking to the firefighter, you'll stay. Otherwise, they'll transfer. And with the fire, and usually ambulance, they are taking down the details also. So they transfer for police, but everything else. And what standard operating procedures enable those firefighters to do in that seat is to look up XY situation that you're having and find out what the protocol is to do. Now, a lot of these protocols are pretty standard, so they know what they do. The system of our firefighters' appliances that work in this country is one of the best systems that was handcrafted in New Zealand. You know, some Kiwi sat down and like panned it out. I had the pleasure of working with that man. Every part of our government is taped together by three people that gave a fuck. It's all done with duct tape. So
it's really real DIY stuff.
It really is. And I worked up until I worked for the fire service while my mom experienced cancer. And what I'll say about the cancer experience in this country is that in my country, my mom would have been fired immediately. She would have, we would have gone destitute trying to save her, and she still would have died. She wouldn't have had a quality of life that she experienced in this country. Her employer paid her till the day she died with no reduction. And that was like a good year and a half experience, and then the last 2 months she didn't do any work at all where they paid her. But that's
incredible.
That speaks to her personality. Everyone loved my mom, and my mom softened my father, and like when he lost her, he realized how many friends were kept by her kind of gentleness, you know. And like he has a partner now. He moved on really quick, but I love my new family. I love my stepsister. I love my stepbrother, and I love my stepmom. But so my mom passed, and that was tough. And I had a lot of support through that. I wanted to continue my mom's kind of outreach. It's kind of crazy. My grandmother's sister had gone off and had a baby. That baby was adopted out. That adopted out baby came back to our family. My mother was working on really making that part of our family feel welcomed back in. They were visiting pretty often. They were on a farm stay. So after she had passed, I had wanted to continue that. I had friends visiting, so we went to their farm stay. And when we stayed there, these people that are biologically related told us that their son, biologically related to me, was just experiencing depression. And they were very much focused on finding him a girlfriend. He was a farm boy. He's got a farm inheritance, you know. But like he's depressed, and something bad happened to him, and he's just never come out of his shell. So at the end of that month, I was having a birthday party, and I invited him to come. And at the end of that party,
sorry, is this here or back
in New Zealand? In New Zealand. Cool. Sorry. So my friends were visiting New Zealand with us in 2016 at the end of the year to celebrate my birthday. It was planned before my mom died, but it was just a good way. My friend had come over with her husband. I threw a big party. It was all the different types of people I knew. And it included this relation and another cousin of mine, female cousin. She spent the whole night talking to him about how his family is related to ours. By the end of the night, he hit on her. She left because she was so put off, but she didn't talk to me, she talked to a friend of mine, and then my friend didn't really take it all that seriously because she had kind of caused my cousin had caused some issues. But anyway, he was a predator. Yeah. He worked the way so that I would not go home with him. Yeah. He was staying at my place, and he took advantage of me that night.
Gotcha.
I didn't report until 3 days later because I had guests, and we were planning to go to Castle Point. So I went to Castle Point and just my brain. You know, they were mad at me because I smoked everything. But by the time we got back, I was like, why do you think this is an assault? And then we kind of came to it that was assault. And then, you know, they fucked off out of the country, and then my other friend stepped in and helped. Yeah. And that broke me, man. Yeah. Like, the assault. And then I went to the police 3 days after it happened. Like, I reported on that day. I went through rape crisis. Yeah. They were really helpful. The frontline men and the police were really helpful. But 6 months later, they decided to not prosecute. Yeah. And like I was saying, when we met, in my country, I could have at least sued him. Yeah. You know, and sued him for the use of my body. Yeah. But in this country, I had to wait on prosecution and then get told that
it's not going to happen.
No, this is what they say. They say, he said, she said. Yeah. As if it would ever be. Now, the thing is, this guy doesn't deny we had sex. Yeah. He denies that. He says that that I stripped naked and told him to fuck me. Yeah. And like through therapy now, I can say a decent person would have just put me to bed. A relative of mine would have just fucking put me to bed and sent an angry text. Yeah. And like the condition of myself at that time was not, you know, it was blackout. And, and like, I get.
So you couldn't give.
No, I couldn't. And it was like, what rocked me is like when I told my friend what had happened the next day, she had acted as if it was consensual. Yeah. And, you know, and then I was just mind fucked for 3 days thinking that and I went to Reddit. I wrote my whole post out on Reddit, and every response was, you've been assaulted, you need to go to the police. So it's like, it's so crazy. And like my experience in this country since is you have access to therapy, and luckily and I hate saying it like this, but I was in the sliver of the sliver where I was assaulted on salary, but not at work. If it's at work, it's a whole different legally proceeding, and your work can decide to not pay you. But like, because I wasn't at work and it was ACC covered, I was covered. And basically I was covered from 2016 to my mental decline in 2019, where I took medical retirement because it was more reflective of my circumstances. Yeah. So I went from a budding data analyst that had been, you know, headhunted for projects within the fire service. I was making moves. I was making a career. Yeah. I was on track to meet my goal of making 100K by 30. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, I invited the wrong fucking person to a party, and and it destroyed me. And because I didn't get prosecution, my family call it my palaver, because there was no follow-up, and they still see that side of my family. It's so much, and like I'm like shaking. I knew this would be hard. But it makes my story, because I have been in 10 years of recovery. And recovery from the loss of my mom. And this is actually where we have a similarity in the fact that I know what you were personally experienced with. In the fact that when my mom died, about 3 months later, my best friend from 16. Wow. And I got that phone call from her sister when she was at her place with the police. Like, you know, I was the person to know right after mom. And and they're coming to my wedding, which is awesome.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. You know, losing her brought us closer together. But yeah, all that happened, and then I got assaulted and my world fell apart, and like I lost the partner I had at the time. He was overseas. He was in Hawaii with his family. It was like his last family vacation. Yeah. We broke up. Wow. We broke up. I went insane. I went actually insane in 2017. It was like I was just manic for about a year. Yeah. And like no one knew what to do with me. I was drinking. I was, you know, and you know, luckily I didn't get into harder stuff. Yeah. And because I have ADHD, the one time I did try something, it was like, oh, the voices have stopped, guys.
Yeah. And you think you found a cure.
But like luckily I didn't, you know. Yeah. So Anyway, 2019, I'm medically retired. Yeah. I'm living in Wellington. I'm paying rent. Yeah. I have 2 cats by this point. Yeah. A friend through the fire service. We stayed friends. We really agreed on kind of like animal rights and the fact that like a cat is its own person, you know, and like, so.
By the way, I agree.
Thank you.
Cats or dogs, they're a part of the house.
It's a family member. It's not like
that's a family member. Yeah,
not a dressing or not a pet.
Yeah, they're not a pastime.
I just FYI I have 7 cats and and I love every single one of them to bits. We have the newest one to our family. His name is Neo. He's got 1 eye. He's a kitten. We haven't done a kitten ever. It's always been more adult cats. Yeah. And he's been both a joy and a demon. So this medical retirement happens. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm going to therapy. I've been going to therapy for 3 years. It's not working. Like I'm on medication that can let me sleep, but not much else, right? I'm sleeping 14, 15-hour days. And I'm in this basically granny flat under a real house that doesn't have a yard, and it's not good for my health, like not good for my mental health, and I've got 2 cats. My mate from the fire service says, "Hey, I've got a farm. You can live on my farm if you pick up poop." And that was it. That was it. And he's like an Australian that's come over here, had a bit of luck with land and contracting, and just runs an animal rescue farm where anything that gets put over the fence we take care of. Yeah. Whatever it is. Whatever. At one point we did have like 3 different turkeys. Like I had a flock of 40 ducks. Yeah. They were wild ducks, but they knew I'd feed them. Yeah. So every morning I'd have 40 ducks down and they would multiply. One of my cats, so actually 3 of my cats have come from that forest cluster, because there was like a cluster of cats that would come up, and he would take them in and foster them and keep them. Like he had like 10, I think he has like 10 cats right now. Wow. Right now. He's in a different farm and stuff, but he would go in, shuck the land of its greenery and make it a palatable place, and then sell that, and then go and do it somewhere else. And he just doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. He's gonna keep working and then just die. But we really connected on this animal front, and so he built me a cabin and got me running water and electricity to it. But I pooped in a bucket for a year, a year and a half. Yeah. Learned that I didn't need much. I had, your current garage space. I would say that, like maybe 2 and 4 meters. Like
2 by 4.
It was not big. It was not big. I could stretch out toe to arm and firmly plant both foot and hand on the wall. Yeah. But I had a little deck with a catio. And I was in a part of the woods that if you were on the main road, you could not see even the light kind of what would come off in the night, because I was all fairy lighted up. Gotcha. And you'd just be in the darkness in the forest. And it took a year and a half of that for me to stop being crazy. I had to go to the forest to stop being crazy. Yeah. And while I was in that forest, COVID happened. Wow. So what a place to be during COVID. And I had almost I'd categorized it in Wellington as this itch. I was just like, I gotta get out. Yeah. I don't know how, but I gotta get out of the city. And I moved to the woods and the land. My friends thought I was fucking crazier than they had already experienced. They were like, Nyasha, we really can't do this anymore. I lost friends. I lost good 2 to 3 friends when I moved out to this place, because they looked at the guy, they looked at my situation, like they knew I wasn't paying rent, which was his favor to me. He was like, I just want to give you a shot. I just want to give you a chance, because he had heard how much I had paid on my student loans. I have paid a payment to a student loan something since I graduated in 2013. And I'll give you the number now. I left school with $126,000 in USD debt. Yeah. I owe less than $25K now to my dad in New Zealand.
That's great.
And like that's like my partner is so excited about being done paying that off. And we've been saving for a wedding at the same time.
Yep.
And it's like it's hard. Like my dad chose money over me. I really feel like, and like, you know, when my mom died, he was like, not that I asked for an inheritance, but he like gave me the, like, you know, the old 2 fingers, look in my eyes, the money's mine, like, you're, you know, and then he immediately remarried a woman and started giving my mom's jewelry to her. Wow. I literally had to ask that woman to stop wearing my mom's clothing.
Wow.
Shocking.
do you think, okay, well, no, let's keep with you. Stick with you.
Yeah. So, God, yeah, you haven't asked one question.
No, I see. What name should I use?
Oh
no. No, I love it. This is brilliant.
Sorry, you found me. I'm a talker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've graduated with that.
Sorry, this is the easiest interview I've ever done.
Oh,
I love it.
You're so sweet. I was so excited about coming on because what I wanted to say was I found my people when I moved to New Zealand.
That's
and like
cool.
what I grew up with, that sense of like displacement of like I don't belong in the States, that went away when I landed in 2013, knowing I would never leave this country again to live somewhere else.
Okay, let me ask you, we're going to continue your story because I want to hear how you got from cabin. Oh, we can stop.
Can we stop?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
It might be a good time to just collect.
So what I was going to ask you was, so you came here when you were 6 to visit.
Yes.
And you were like, this is my, for lack of a better term, like I feel that it sounds like this was more of your spiritual
home. Yeah.
And which you have a legitimate link to.
Right? Yeah,
you know?
through my dad, you know.
Yeah, totally. So then when you go back to the US, now you've already said that you obviously didn't fall into the whole we're number one.
Nope.
So was that hard when everyone around you was like, USA? Do you know what I mean? Like, and you were like, yeah, USA is great, but
there's this particularly little country that I'm fucking off to, and you can't convince me otherwise. Do you know how many boyfriends I broke up with? Like,
wow.
I was still romantically, you know, interested in people growing up, but the second they would be like, when we moved to New Zealand together, I'd be like, oh, babe, we gotta break up. I was brutal. I would let no one near that dream.
Yeah.
It was mine.
Gotcha.
And I was determined to not let anyone ride my coattails getting here on me. To the point of where my last like particular relationship of about 2 or 3 years. So that's most of my university degree. I was with this dude, and he got a DUI. Yeah. And I was like, you can't move to the country I'm moving to now. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I kept telling you not to let this happen, and you did this, and we're done now. And he lost his mind watching me because we were together. Yeah. Right until I left. And so our lease was ending when we thought we were moving to New Zealand together, and then suddenly we weren't going together, and it was just me. And so he just watched me get happier and happier and happier and more excited about going to the country I've always wanted to live in. Yeah. And he's got nothing. He's got nothing lined up. That was the plan for him, and he just fumbled that fucking ball. Yeah. And I was ready. I was ready to marry that man. And I'm so glad I didn't. Because when I was in the forest during COVID, get that loop back. Yeah. I started chatting. It was COVID, so I had Animal Crossing, and we had Uno and Mario Kart.
Okay,
So
good combination.
I was playing with 2 ex-partners because they were just dudes I became friends with in the end. Yeah. And then Ben, who had always just been a friend. Met him through a roommate of mine in 2014, and we had just been, friends in periphery. He was actually at the birthday party that I was assaulted at after. Yeah. So he met the guy. He lives with guilt about not saving me. He had no reason. None. But for him, and that's something so crazy to share. In the fact that we were just friends at the time, and it shaped my life so in such a hard way, because having to go to the forest to rebuild yourself mentally was, you know, it was probably the most extreme choice I could have made.
Yeah.
You know, to not keep working, to take on the ACC and the medical retirement. I had to fight about 6 months to make that happen. Ended up having to use the fire service to back me up to go back to ACC to be like, she's not fit.
Yeah.
Because my injury was in 2016. So then to prove 3 years later that I had sustained progress and then further deteriorated, which placed it in ACC's bucket.
Yeah.
You know, that was a battle. That was a battle. So, like, getting this compensation and having that compensation was like, you know, it's a sliver of, you know, restitution.
Yeah.
But God, did I have to fight for it and like really push back and like develop a resilience during a time when I was absolutely mentally broken.
Yeah.
And that is my one complaint with the system, is they expect people experiencing trauma to manage their case in a way that you actually logically don't have the strength to.
Yeah, but not just the strength, but you also don't. If you ask, like,
or the knowledge,
you don't have the knowledge.
Right.
The average person, like I've been fighting my mental health for ever. Yeah. And so to this day, you still don't. I have to go by the word of my GP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was like, it's not enough. That's when I found my own coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they force you to take measures that they say aren't measures you should take, and you're kind of like, well, if you'd given me the intervention I needed. When I was assaulted, the person that assessed me for an hour and a half decided that I had an adjustment disorder because what was presenting was the grief of the loss of my mother rather than the assault itself. Well, I had gotten interviewed for the assault about a week after it happened, so nothing had hit yet.
Yeah.
I was still in what I would call the fog of war. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And like, so, and it's now 10 years on, and I can say that therapy is now working. Yeah. Now working, but that's only in the last like 2 months, mate. 2 months. I'm doing that eye movement processing thing. I think it's called EMDR.
Okay.
Eye movement desensitization. It's about using the frontal lobe of your brain, the rapid eye movement of your eyes, and talking about your trauma, not in a deep way, but like what it feels like and where it is, and then following that feeling into where does it go next. Yeah. And that rapid eye movement makes you not relive it, but process it. Yeah. And it stores differently in your brain. Wow. It's working. It's finally working. I have 10 years of therapy. Yeah. And it's finally working for me. And it took me a year of rebuilding with this new therapist to really trust her, because I had done this type of therapy before, but that practitioner was new. Yeah. Had been learning how to do it. Yeah. I was one of their guinea pigs. Wow. And I used to volunteer for that. I was like, I'm ready for anything. I want to try anything, because I've now been 8 years in. I feel like, you know, get back to work, you know. And I still have a brain that works. It's just the everything else around it, you know, the consistency and the, you know, the emotional stability required for inter-office relations. I don't have it. I don't have it anymore. Yeah. So, and it's even, I don't want to point out too far, but like even now, just here, we took a break to go inside for a few minutes, and even coming up, you heard my wife call my daughter. And it was like, you're like, oh, what's that? Yep. Because you're always on that, I don't want to say alert, but it's always like... It is alert. Yeah? It is alert. And they call it survival mode. Yeah. And it's not this idea that I'm fighting to survive. It means that my arms, the back of my neck is ready to flare. Yeah. You know, and like... You're ready to go. Ready to run. Yeah. Ready to run. And it's the process of therapy that I can sit through uncomfortable feelings. They don't get so overwhelming I need to run. Yeah. I sprained an ankle once. I had taken my ACC coordinator with me to therapy after the first year with my first therapist. I've had 4. My first therapist was good. she left the country, and that's fine. But she had all of my coordinator, all of my every ACC person that deals with ACC will tell you that they hate dealing with ACC. And 10 years ago, it was just the same, I'll say. Yeah. And I had brought my agent in to talk to my therapist. My therapist was really excited. I was still under the impression that I was going to get a therapy session. And at the meeting, when we were sitting down, my therapist really took the opportunity to talk admin with my coordinator. Yeah. And then at the same time, I realized that it had been a year since my mother had died on the day. Yeah. I asked to have some air. At the time, I was using exercise, and I decided to run in shoes that weren't meant for running. And I sprained my ankle about a good, 3 blocks away from where I needed to be. Yeah. And there were these construction workers that helped me into their car, took me in their little construction buggy back to the front office. And at that time, I guess it had been long enough that both my coordinator and my therapist were like, okay, where's the patient? Yeah. She left for air, and, she's not back. And I came back, and I'm like, I think I've sprained my ankle. And they're like, But for me, I was like, well, isn't this the physical way that trauma can affect you bodily? They always ask you, what's your impairment? I'm like, well, definitely clock my head out, but I did sprain my ankle that one time because I had to go on a run because Bunny went go. Yeah. I try not, I don't do that now. I just but yeah, and I think having the stability of a good partner has changed everything. Yeah. So earlier I explained that when I react, like I reacted to your wife calling one of your kids out, or calling their name. It wasn't even like she was mad. She just
needed their attention.
Yelled their name, and I like jumped half a foot in the air. Went, what? Help! How do I? My partner once saw me react to our garage door. Inner door slamming behind me, and I tried to be brave, but crumpled internally. And he just picks me up, asks me what bit of the Lord of the Rings I want to watch today, puts me in bed, gives me one of 7 cats. I have quite an insular system now, but I would say that the way we actually met through my content on TikTok has been one of my main outlets for recovery, because I can be as weird as I want to there. I've found, I have an audience in the fact that the random shit I post and repost is interesting. Yeah. I don't have an aim, I'm not trying to make my milk and butter there because I've been blessed with, the free time of trauma, but I go to therapy every week, and when it's this kind of therapy, I'm out for 3 days, and I literally the way I plan my week is that anything on the computer or admin is after therapy, because they literally tell you to play Tetris after therapy. Gaming is therapy after therapy, because your brain has something constructive it can do. We got the Switch 2 because God, what came out? The Animal Crossing update came out. Sure, yeah. And I wanted to get that. So we were able to get the Switch 2, and we've started playing Pokopia, and that has been a lot of fun too, and it's been really good in the way that, it just gives you something to do. Yeah. But it's tough because going back to the American question, when we were growing up, Columbine had happened. Yeah. But it hadn't happened everywhere yet.
Yeah, it was still a very rare...
Boiling the Frog. We were really toward the beginning of the heat being turned on, and shootings being a, thoughts and prayers. I was through the area of the era of thoughts and prayers where that was thought to be effective strategy. I get that it's a meme now, but it used to actually be thoughts and prayers. And being a Christian, I thought I was doing my part. And you'd blame the students, or you'd blame the music, or you'd blame the games, but no one looked at the system that we were in and said, when you have... So when I went to New Zealand for the first time that same year, I saw the 9/11 thing happen. Was that right? No.
2001.
No. 2001 was the year... Okay, so I I went to New Zealand as a 6-year-old. There was my granddad's 60th when I was 13. And when I was 12, I saw the 9/11 thing happen on TV. Like, they literally rolled in a TV we didn't have in the room so that we could watch it.
This is at school?
At school. Wow. At school. As it's happening, all of our teachers rolled out all the ATVs out of the, you know, I went to like a beginning kindergarten to 8th grade. So like it was kind of like a parochial Christian school. There were 30 of us, you know, like in a class. And so when they rolled that out, no one understood what was happening. Our history teacher did, Mr. Jones did, but he's dead. So he was a good man, but nah, like that was really what tempered. And I remember I was into karate as a kid, like an Americanized version, and I went to a karate class and I just had a breakdown in the bathroom, and my karate teacher, Mr. Can't you cut that out? I just love his last name. He came in, and I just remember him being so gagged that like I was sobbing because of the 9/11 attacks and the fact that I was scared our country, like we were going to be bombed. Yeah. And he looked at me, he's like, Nyasha, they're not going to bomb Green Bay. Yeah. Like, they're not going to bomb, like there's no strategic value to us. And I, you know, oh, okay, I guess I'll come to karate class now. Like, you know, like I don't think I ever lived a moment from a child of where I thought America was a great place, because nothing ever made sense. And like,
but did you find that, and I think that's what I was trying to ask.
Yeah, the USA before. #1, yeah. Yeah,
so but everyone around you was I don't want to use the word indoctrinated because I don't think that's quite the right word.
But it was indoctrination because one particular thing I hated about history classes was it was always American history. I knew nothing about anyone else, the world outside. No, but did I hear Wisconsin's American history about 300 billion times every year? It was like every year there was like a whole semester devoted to like Wisconsin early American history studies. And I just remember thinking like, no one knows where New Zealand is. Yeah. Like, and to this day, Ben loves making fun of my lack of geography knowledge. I think this Valentine's Day, I actually gave someone at the table next to us, we went to Libre, and it was really great. I'm really sad they're closing. They put on a great Valentine's special, but they packed us in like sardines. So like left and right kind of overheard everything I was saying. And, what was it? I looked at my partner and I said, a chef had walked out and was coming back through the front of house and was going back to the kitchen. And I looked at him and I looked at his haircut and I went, that's a chef. Yeah. And Ben's like, how do you know it's a chef? And I'm like, that's a haircut that stays in the back of house. Yeah. You know, see that? And we were laughing about that. And I said, I've always been told to not trust a skinny chef. Yeah. And I was like, Italian, you know, and my partner was like, where did you hear that? And I said, you know that Italian movie with the rat? And he's like, Ratatouille, Ratatouille? Yeah. The French movie that happens in Paris? Yeah. And I was like, not Italian at all. Like, So anyway, I know you don't cut things out, but that might be worth cutting out. That was a great story.
Amazing. That's an amazing story. That's staying in. 100%. What makes it better is you're like the Italian chef, and it's like it's French, and you're in a Mexican restaurant in New Zealand.
You know, all cultures. We really are a blending pot, at least in my brain. I love it. But yeah, I grew up in Wisconsin. We didn't get our first sushi until 2001, I think. Wow. My dad was delighted because like he couldn't believe that, because at least in California we had things. Yeah. But then you moved to Wisconsin pre-2000s. Like we moved to Green Bay, so I grew up with the Packers and bleeding, you know, green and gold. Yeah. In Green Bay, a sound business strategy is if you live within any 3 miles, miles of Lambeau Stadium, you just pave your front yard. Because every weekend that there's a game on, you can make $3,000 by just charging people for parks. Yeah. Because Lambeau is basically, you can fill most of Green Bay inside Lambeau and there'd still be room within the functions. Yeah. You know, they really rebuilt that thing to house. Yeah. Actually, the mom of my friend that passed got married at Lambeau Stadium, which is a pretty cool place to get married.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so Green Bay, Wisconsin, you either grow up loving football or you grow up hating football, and I hated football.
Yeah.
And like just didn't give a whack about sports at all. I moved to Milwaukee. There's a thing about Milwaukee. If you stay in Milwaukee for more than 3 years, which I did to do uni, I stayed there for 5. You end up giving a fuck about the Brewers, which is baseball. And it happened. It actually happened. Wow. I remember looking up, being like, oh, I wonder how the Brewers are going. And then being like, oh my God, what have I become? You know, like, but it happened because like the culture of tailgating, where you show up to a game and get drunk before the game. And then sometimes don't even have tickets to go to said game. And you just stay in the parking lot to hear and watch said game. That is a culture thing. Like that's an event. You know, white girl wasted out in the parking lot. And then if you can act sober enough to get in, you just don't. But the thing is, the drinks are so expensive outside, you just pregame, so you could just ride that buzz and only have to have one drink, you know, that somebody's probably going to spill on you.
I mean, that's the same here. Like if you go to watch the All Blacks in Wellington, for example, you never drink at the stadium. I'd imagine, because I've never gone to a sporting event in this country since coming here. So you gotta go to one.
I don't. I don't have to.
It's amazing.
No one can make me.
No one can, and no one is. But
kicking and screaming, like I'll go to Armageddon. I love going to Armageddon. That's fun.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like our literal only cosplay event, like the only one.
Yeah.
Cool connection there. My partner used to freelance as like a person that could work computers for the gaming company that would come in and set up like the dance stuff and like the gaming computers. There's like a new company that does PC computers, but like this guy is like invested in everything, and he's really cool. He runs a van that you can rent out and have like a gaming cave come to you, which is real cool for like birthdays and stuff. So we've threatened to think about doing it at Hobbiton, but the thing about Hobbiton is like Hobbiton is already so iconic. It's like you really don't want to distract anyone.
You want it to be what it is.
Yeah, we got to leave it for what it is.
And saying that, you could set the van up as a Lord of the Rings game.
Oh my God, right? Or just watching the movies. I don't know. I think it could be nice. And the thing is, it's like mates rates for everything. Everyone is so excited about us getting married. Like, as a couple, we have just developed great friendships and great just relationships are all around. Yeah. And for Ben and I, because of the trauma I went through, you know, a little bit of codependence for sure, but we've really become people together. Yeah. You know, and I think people are excited for us to get married. Partially why we're not already married is when we were renting in 2023, we were in a bad place of Pomey, and we're on a gang-related street, and we're experiencing like basically every 2 months something would happen, and it couldn't possibly get worse, and it would get worse. Well, unfortunately, that woman that was murdered, that happened at the end of our block.
Wow,
3 months later, that drive-by shooting happened on our street. Our friend, the neighbor that was on the other side of the duplex, was mowing her lawn when these two people got out of the cars and shot at a building. You know, like, just no regard. And so we had already placed our date with Hobbiton, and we had to go back to them and be like, look, Nyasha has PTSD, and being home off of work means that I'm trapped in this house. We need to move. We need to, and luckily Ben, you know, he's an accountant. So, you know, we were in the financial position, because at least the one thing I can do is save, you know, because like, you know, I don't really cost too much as long as my spending, like my dull spending's under control. So we're able to get a house, but it was like we were going to get married and then we were going to do the house, and suddenly it became inverted. And the thing about Hobbiton is they don't actually let you book a year any longer in advance than a year. Oh, okay. So when we told them we have to like we'd already paid our deposit and been like, I guess we lose that money and we'd like to rebook with you. And they're like, no. We've heard your story. You want to have a traditional, you know, Lord of the Rings wedding at our venue. You're so excited. We'd loved your enthusiasm, you know, because I walked in and I was just like, you know, like, this is my dream. He's my dream. We're going to have it here, you know. And they loved the fact that we were going to go traditional, because like literally the weekend before we met this wedding planner, she had hosted a couple that in the private glade that it was reserved for weddings only.
Yeah.
Their attire had decidedly been, she was wearing a blow-up unicorn outfit and the man was wearing a blow-up raptor outfit. And hey, if you have that kind of money to just waste, but the staff felt so disrespected, and like when they talked about that, I'm not to expose them or anything, you keep it in and nobody gonna know, but like like, you could just hear the relief when we were like, nope, huge Lord of the Rings fan, like we've already know what's kind of like invites we want to do, like you know, like all the way through. And the fact that partial reasoning is we both have international family, right? And so their list would already include going to Hobbiton. International guest list, it's going to be on their list anyway. If we're asking them to come here for a wedding, we might as well host it at the venue. We can give them a tour. Because you go to this glade, you get married, all your guests get to go on the tour of Hobbiton, then you go to the pub, or you go to we're having our food in the marquee, so we can keep it, we want to be able to dance in the pub. And then you do their dancing in the pub. So that is coming at the end of the year in 2026, October 26th. We're doing Halloween. It's partner's dad's birthday, so
nice.
We're doing a cake, the style of Bilbo cakes in the movie.
Okay.
Like there's like a cake in particular at the beginning of the fellow.
I believe you.
Yeah. We're doing it in that style. I have to clarify, because I kept saying a Bilbo cake, and I found out from one of my bridesmaids last night, we're getting drunk and dyeing my hair again. And I was like, Bilbo cake. And she's like, okay, when you say Bilbo cake, you mean in the shape and character of Bilbo, right?
Yeah.
Where it's going to be like him and we're eating him. And I was like, no, in the style of the movie of the cake. She thought we were going to have like a printed, like...
Oh, like his face.
Like his face, like his whole body.
Yeah,
we were going to Amy Winehouse and eat his body in cake.
Yeah.
That came about half a bottle of wine in, so I'm glad we got that sorted, and that's not happening. But so Hobbiton was so excited to hear we were doing a traditional wedding. Then we explained that the situation we were in was untenable with where we loved our landlord. Even our landlord was lovely, but it was just the location.
It's just too much.
It was way too much. You could just never knew what was going to happen. And like at the time we had 6 cats, and a few of them did free roam, and it was just so dangerous. And so with my condition, and you know, Hobbiton did us a solid and said, when do you need? And we said 2026 is when we know that like we'll be able to recover from buying a house,
and it takes a lot,
right? And then save again for this wedding, like 2026. So it's finally happening this year.
Nice.
And it's interesting because I never put thought to it, but in the fact that it's at this 10-year interval, right? In 2016, this
to 2026,
like my whole life just fell apart. I lost my mom. I lost friends that were foundational to who I was, and then lost my family in trying to recover. And like I can say that I don't even have some of that family back. You know, olive branch extended for the wedding and declined, you know, and I guess that's fine. That's good. Been told over and over again, those that don't want to attend your wedding, you don't want at your wedding. So
well, the good thing is being here now is, I'm sure you've picked it up, there's a difference between family and whānau.
Yes.
And you invite your whānau.
God, that's... What a way to put it. Yeah,
it's something I've always believed in. And they say, oh, you can't pick your family. And I don't believe that.
Oh, good Christ.
You're born into a family.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that that's your family. You know, your family is who you surround yourself with.
And who stays? Who actually stays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also... the other thing I've also always... And I believe this more as I grow older, is the labels that people have because of where they sit in a family is bullshit. And I'll give you an example is that so when I was growing up, I had 2 best friends, and to this day I still call them my brother and my sister, because I believe, and I have a sister and I love her to bits. I love my sister, but that's my brother and that's my other sister. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to this day, when I address like Nyasha, which was actually Calvin's cousin, believe it or not. And I didn't know that for a long time. I didn't even know they were related.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
New Zealand is like so like...
Oh, look, this is what New Zealand's like. I met Nyasha and Kindy and we became best friends instantly. I then went to primary school with her cousin, which was Cal's. I didn't know they were related until high school. I went to intermediate with her. I moved to Auckland for intermediate and went with her other cousin. I didn't know they were related until I was an adult. And so I've just been surrounded by
the
one
most secretive family.
I've just been surrounded by one family my whole life. But
you're actually they're your handler.
Yeah,
they've been managing you.
I am
whole
their
life.
burden. And so, like I say, that's my brother and that's my sister. And there's other people. I've also believed that your auntie or your uncle. Like, I think that's a real Māori thing as well. Like,
and I've
auntie,
definitely
uncle.
embraced that. I've taken it as fairy godmother. There's about
100%.
three children now. I consider myself a fairy godmother too in this country.
Yeah.
And then a few at home. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So wedding, and what a cool thing! Like 10 years, and so I think, and congratulations, because like,
thanks.
Because like with what you went through in such a short, like bang 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 sort of thing. I mean, you never recover, but to get to where you are in 10 years is amazing. Because I know a lot of people hear that and go like, "That's so long," but it's not.
No.
And with that sort of trauma, I mean, there's people who never get to where you are. You know, they'll always be at that.
Yeah,
I'm destroyed stage.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've always believed that, like, I think one of the misconceptions...
I'd never blame a person that stayed there either.
No, of course not.
I'd never blame a person.
No.
And if you're in that phase, you know, I don't even need to tell you that it gets better. But all I can say is, like, continuing means that there's a chance.
Yeah. And I always think that, you know, with mental health, and it doesn't matter what your mental health issue is, there's no cure. You never find a cure. Like, even with what you've gone through, you're not cured.
No.
You found a way.
I still jump when your wife yells for your kids, you know? you just adapt.
Yeah. You find a way, and you find what works for you. And for some people, it's therapy, and other people, it's medication. And for other people, it's art, or it's like you've obviously found your art.
Yeah, and just being weird. Not filtering
and
myself.
fine.
Because I found that in the filtering and the masking, I wasn't allowing any healing to come in.
Yeah.
And so being able to just, you know, if people are going to go to my TikTok and be like, crazy, you're not crazy. I'm like, it's a certain particular flavor, my love.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like that little, you know, little burnt out, little speck of depression.
Yeah.
But also, like, who gives a fuck? Like...
That's it. and it's so funny because, and we talked about this when I met you at the cafe.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, well, why me? Or, you know, how did you find me? And I said, oh, well, I can smell my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though the things you do, so you know, you do a lot of, like you're having a Lord of the Rings party, and the other day I stumbled across your live and you're making some Harry Potter stuff and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, and I was saying this to Jen before, I was like, those aren't my niches, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
In fact, they're the things, I'm sorry to say this to you, that I go, ugh, you know what I mean?
No,
but that's not the point. The point is, I'm like, I see the like for like, this is her corner of the world, and even though it's not my corner of the world, we still share the same beliefs of
and
what
expression.
that is.
Expression.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not to say, so you find your level of nerdum, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not level. You find your niche of nerdum, and I recognize your niche, and I'm like, okay, this is her niche, and even though it's not mine, the values of that niche cross over, and your love of it, and your expressionism of it, the way you express your love for it is what I recognize. So,
and it's so interesting because, like, for me at least, like, my TikTok especially, my approach was like, I'm gonna experience hyperfixation.
Yeah.
I might as well somehow monetize it. So, you know, I kind of like, you get to enjoy it with me, whatever I'm kind of experiencing at the time. But beyond that, like, if you talked to me in the forest, you know, when I was down there, I wasn't obsessed with Lord of the Rings. But as I recovered in my journey, and I just found that video series to be very comforting in style and story. Yeah. Because I felt such relation to Gollum. Yeah. And such relation to Frodo, because Frodo has this tenuous relationship with Gollum where he's like, if I become Gollum, will anyone continue to love me?
Yeah.
if I am Gollum, you know, if you already feel like you're Gollum in the world, that everything is like left you, there's nothing left within you that's like any good. Your journey to try to get better, people have looked at and gone, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I equated that to Gollum going into the mountains with the ring and just, you know, hovering over himself to keep himself together, splitting his personality because he needed somebody stronger within to go on with what he had committed. And then seeing that fear in Frodo and knowing that he had a task to finish. If he didn't finish it, the world ended. Yeah. Which is a very similar feeling when you're in a depressive mode and you feel like, you know, an exit is an exit, or I have to just stay here and endure. Yeah. You know, and you know, Frodo at least had a destination. I think sometimes when we don't have a destination, it's a bit harder. You know. But then again, at the end, you know, spoiler, Frodo doesn't actually complete his mission. It's Gollum that does it.
Oh, of course, because he goes in with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Frodo made the decision to say no. And he started walking away. And Sam didn't have, in the books, he doesn't have the strength to overcome Frodo. And it's the fight between Gollum and Frodo, and Gollum being able to overcome Frodo and then being so joyful that he doesn't have any spatial awareness, which again I totally relate to. Yeah. My partner says that I have worser spatial awareness than a goldfish, because while the goldfish doesn't have the memory, it at least has the ability to notice where the edges are. And it's true. But the thing is, trauma and ADHD, when you mix the two, your spatial awareness goes out the window. Because I spent a good 6 of those years just in a dissociative state. Yeah. You know, just like I was there, but I wasn't there. Yeah. And I do things, and I live a life now of where people are like, oh, you did this. And I'm like, yeah, sure I did. That sounds like me. Yeah. I'm sorry, I keep getting...
Don't worry about it. No spatial awareness.
Yeah, spatial awareness. Oh, God, I've just proven it. But yeah, I think what's nice, and especially in meeting you and the timing, is I feel like I'm finally coming out of that fog. Yeah. And like, I'm happy. Yeah. Good. And it's so weird to say that. Yeah. You know, like...
Hold on. Don't say any more about that, because I'm going to ask you about that. Okay. I've got 2 things to ask you, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. One is, and I ask a lot of people this, and it's more for my own benefit, because I love knowing how other people do this. So I have days where getting out of bed is the achievement. Do you know what I mean? Yep. That's the achievement for the day. It's like, wow, I got up. Let alone showering, kids, blah, 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 work. When you're having those days, what is the thing that gets you up?
My cats.
Yeah?
When you have 7 cats.
Yep.
And they haven't been fed yet.
They get you up.
But also, that partner that I didn't end up crossing the waters with, we broke up because of the DUI, he used to not take me to work in the morning because that would mean that he couldn't drink the night before because he'd have to blow on his car to get it started. And that meant that I had a 2-hour bus ride journey, like multiple buses, walking places to get to my work, whereas it would have been like a 15-minute drive for him. Wow. Like 30 minutes total going there and back, and he just never would do it for me.
That's yeah.
And so my current partner, who I'm engaged to and I'm going to marry, he doesn't drive. He doesn't have his driver's, and that's pretty normal in New Zealand. You have such a hard system for driving. Like in the States, they just give you the keys at 16 and go for your life. Yeah, you know, good luck. Yeah. So every morning that I'm not physically ill, because I have a lot of issues in the morning with like vomiting and stuff. But whole different story. But when I'm physically able, I take my partner to work. Because I've been the partner that wasn't taken to work, and that grew so much resentment that my partner had, quote unquote, this free time. Yeah. Because he was on a stipend. He also lost his mom to cancer. So I experienced so many events from the other side before it happened to me. Yeah. That like now I just carry this empathy that, you know, is lived and experienced. And that's when I found out your story and where, you know, this podcast started and came from. Like I felt that in my bones. Yeah. And it was like, what a time to meet you. And like, be able to join you on your endeavor.
Yeah.
And so I want to say thank you.
That's
and in terms of getting up, it's for my partner to not be an asshole and to actually take him to work, because it's not that hard. And then when I get home, I'm up, I feed the cats, and I start my day. Yeah. And I might be slow, but I start.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of like what you get done, because Mondays are my therapy day, I kind of have a graduated return on the week. So if I can muster anything in the first 2 days, that's like A+ work. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's when I do the overdone housework. That's when I do the cleaning. That's when the cat boxes get turned over. So, I've learned to kind of just respect the slow and steady.
That's great.
And like not beat myself up if I can't stand up in the shower that day.
Yeah.
Allowing, you can have sit down showers. I don't know if you knew that. I did not know that you could just sit down and shower, but that changed my...
If I could, I would sit down and do everything. Do you know what I mean? If I could do everything sitting.
No. I mean, it's not great for the shower, right? But like, honestly, it got me to clean my shower too, because I was like sitting down there going, oh God, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I do, is I look to I've put little mini responsibilities on me that if I don't get up in the morning, I get chewed on. Yeah. So they'll come and eat me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Second question. What? It's a 2-part question. What do you miss the most from the US? And what if you had to take something from here and put it there, what would it be?
From here to there?
Yeah.
From here to there.
Yeah, like if you're like, you know what America needs? Hungy. Or do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be food, but it's all I can think of.
Yeah. So I'll answer this question and say a product, because the thing I miss most is my best friend Christy. So, and if I could take something and plant it here, it'd be her. But if I
hear that, Christy,
yeah,
get your ass over here.
No, she's coming for the wedding, man.
For good.
Oh, she's an EMT. Her husband's a brewer. They could make bank here.
They would do so well.
Struggling in this. It's so sad. It's so sad. Anyway, I'm hoping to wow her when she comes over, and she's gonna be coming over San's husband and San's kids for the first time in like her whole life.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a Christy no one has seen or known in years. Wow. I'm like so excited.
Yeah.
But the thing I most in terms of product.
Okay. Yeah.
Are probably American cereals.
Okay. Yeah.
People always talk about like the choice in America, the abundance of choice. We have a whole peanut butter aisle. What they don't know about is we usually have about 2 aisles of cereal also.
Wow.
One is a health aisle, and then the other stuff is the good stuff.
Yeah.
And when I say that we're finally starting to get that in the States, I have been finally getting it here. Pack and Save finally sells Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, it does.
Buy that shit. Buy that shit in boxes, because it is so good. It is so good. And I cannot believe that. And what's funny is when I last visited the States to see Christy, she regretfully told me that a health study had come through and shitified all of the sugary cereals, because now they have to contain some nutritional value.
Yeah.
Whereas before they were just pure sugar. She's like, it's not the same. And I'm oh my goodness, the Americans, they poison themselves daily. Like, it's just, it comes from all sides. The reason why they all have diabetes is because it's like in the corn fruit juice, like corn syrup, it's
like everything,
oh my god, it's in everything. And what I would transfer from here to the States, and this is based on Christy's opinion, are meat pies.
Okay. Yeah.
Christy, because in the States we have pies and they're sweet. They're the fruit pies. Yeah, fruit pies. In the States, they always have a bottom tin. There's no crust on the bottom. Christy calls our pies that we get, the meat pies, she calls them hand pies.
Makes sense.
But she goes, I can't wait to have some of those hand pies when I come over. I'm going to eat hand pies every day. But Kiwis, go to the States. Bring the hand pies, because you will make a killing. Yeah. There's literally one dude that does it in the whole country, and he ships to people. Yeah. Because he's that, like, iconic, because he's the Kiwi pie guy, because you can't get it in the... just, the pastry hasn't transferred. Y'all do pastry different. Your eggs are different.
Yeah.
One of the things my parents told me in terms of like getting used to, they cracked an egg in front of me, and they like look at it, and I looked at it. I'm like, why is it so bright orange?
A different color?
And they're like, they're just like that here. They say that they're more nutritional, and I think we have depressed chickens in the States because our eggs are never that color.
Yeah.
Happy chickens here. Happy milk.
It's the feed.
Yeah, it's the feed. It's the feed. Grass-fed beef is so rare in the States. It's all corn-fed.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, of course, it's grass-fed, and it tastes different.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. I tried very hard to not ADHD that one, but I think I may have failed.
No,
so,
brilliant.
hand pies. Christy.
Hand pies.
And hand pies.
Brilliant. Okay. And if Christy moves here, she can have all the pies she wants.
Know, right?
Unlimited. And she can...
And her children could walk around without threat of being shot at their school. How exciting!
Amazing.
What a selling point!
That's one of the things I've noticed, me and my wife have noticed a lot on TikTok, is that there is a lot of people moving here from the US. And that's the number one thing they say. They're like, yep, it costs more to live here. You don't have the convenience you have in America, where everything can be delivered to your door within X amount of time. But
and then you can complain about them.
Yeah. And
get it refunded.
Yeah, you don't have the variety of food here and all that. But they're like, but to send the kids to school and not worry
that someone's brought a handgun.
Is worth everything to them.
Every penny.
And I get it.
And you might as well be struggling, because if you're going to struggle in the States, you might as well struggle in the... The other thing I'll say to New Zealanders, y'all don't understand. Americans spend their whole lives saving to come here for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You guys undercut what you have. You undercut what you have. This is an amazing country. I know it's quote unquote gone to shit, and fair enough, I watched it too, and I think Gluckston is an idiot. He's a thumb. The bad thumb. But we got a chance. We've got another chance at this. We can probably get it right.
Yeah.
Not to get political, but in the States there's just no comparison. This is a beautiful country. Anyway, thank you so much for having me on.
No worries, hold on, we're not done.
Oh.
Okay. At the end of every show, we do quickfire questions.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Okay, so now when I say quickfire, it's just in terms of, it doesn't have to be a short answer.
Right.
It's just, I had to call it something.
Yeah, okay, no, I like
it. But there's 2 sets of questions. You can pick set A or set B.
Ooh, roll the dice. Give me B.
B. Okay, brilliant. B is actually my favourite. What was the last song you completely jammed out to?
Oh, literally coming over here, I finally watched Dragon Hunters and their song Golden. Mm-hmm. It is literally my journey. It's talking about being the person you could have always been, being the person that people see, breaking through patterns, leaving the old you. Yeah, I was just belting that out on repeat, like, because that's,
love it. What was the last thing you ate?
McDonald's, Mecca's. They call it Mecca's here.
Yeah. What's your order at McDonald's?
Oh, double cheeseburger, extra pickles, and large Coke. And my partner usually eats my fries.
Yeah, see, I knew I smelt my own.
Yeah.
I'm an extra pickle person too.
Dill pickles. That's the thing New Zealand needs. They do
I
not
agree with you
still
there.
have... Shakeout is the only place where you can go and get like just a dill pickle. And when I say that I eat them and the crunch, the thing about dill pickle is if you've got like muscle soreness, you need salt.
Yes.
So a sour pickle goes that salty brine will like right achy muscles like within minutes. But they to give context, Kiwis only seemingly have soft gherkin like pickles where they don't go crunch. The first time I ate a pickle here, it was so disgusting. I spat it out. I was like, it didn't crunch. Is it off?
You know what's funny is when we lived in Auckland, we used to go to this place called Martha's Backyard. It was an American store, and we used to buy the Vlasic.
Yeah.
Yep,
with the little seagull on it.
That used to be our go-to.
I've gotten care packages with that shit in it.
Nice. We keep I guess you would say more gherkins. We keep them a lot in the house. It's funny because you say for the salt, we keep them for our daughter. She's got POTS, which is you have to eat lots of salt.
Yeah.
And that's her go-to.
It's a perfect melding. And like, I won't lie, like I've had fevers of where I've just had pickle juice.
Yeah.
Because that is the quickest way to like revitalize your system. It's cool that we both like pickles.
I love pickles.
I'll shoot you the brands that I find that are actually good because they're starting to come up in stores now, which is nice. So
awesome. Beach or mountains?
Oh,
beach. Sorry, beach.
I heard
ocean.
Beat your mountains, and I'm like, yeah, I think I've beaten some mountains. Like,
you've climbed a lot of hills.
Oh,
beach or mountains?
Beach. I think I spent my whole life trying to get to the beach, the New Zealand beach.
Yeah.
And now I live in Palmy.
Oh, I knew.
Which is like so far, but reality is it's only a 30-minute drive. You know, the furthest point of the sea is only a 30-minute drive from the sea. That's not bad.
The beaches here around here are shit.
Again, this Kiwi perspective. I came from Wisconsin. There are no beaches.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, I'll give you that.
I have a very like eyes, very rosy because I have been in the cold tundra.
I think I'm spoiled because I grew up at a beach.
That's quote unquote decent, but
it's people see it and they go, "This is."
Paradise.
It's not like where you see, like you see Surfers Paradise in Aussie, where it's this beautiful beach, but right behind it's this mega city. Where I grew up, it's literally, you go to that end of the beach and there's a farm, and you go to the other end of the beach and there's a farm, and there's nothing around. It's stunning. It's my happy place. What did you want to be when you were young?
I wanted to be in New Zealand.
I mean, like...
No, that's all I wanted.
Fair enough.
As a kid, I didn't give a fuck about what I did.
Yeah.
I did not care. My parents tried to develop me in different ways, and I was just like, just want to get to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I just want to get to New Zealand, and I did it. Hey, I did it. Everything else is gravy now. Yeah. How many people can say they did the thing that they wanted to do when they were 6?
I cannot.
Sorry. I didn't really want to be anything in particular. I just wanted to be here.
Fair enough. What's your most used emoji? Oh, this always trips people out.
A green heart, because that's what I send back and forth with Ben. That's our default emoji chat. But the other maybe notable emoji is that guy I used to live on the farm with. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, we used to not say good morning to each other. We used to just send the egg emoji to each other. Yeah. Of like a good morning egg, I guess. But egg.
It's so funny with you and Ben that you use the green one, because on our chat, the reaction is a purple one.
Yeah. Oh,
for me and my wife, it's a purple emoji.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's just so sweet because you could be like, oh, I'm thinking of you, but you don't have to type all of it out. You can just be like, green heart. No, chicken.
But what's funny is because we have that as the reaction on Facebook, the default one, is instead of when we just want to say okay, we won't say okay and we won't put a thumbs up. We will type thumb. And that's our okay.
I love it. Thumb. Yeah.
And I'm always like, it's more work.
But it's them. I don't correct when I get words wrong in my phone. And my reasoning is when I get kidnapped and they try to pretend to be me, they'll correct.
People will know.
They'll go, oh, that I is turned into a J. I should correct that. And then my partner will get it and be like, she's been fucking kidnapped. There's no way she would fucking spell that word correctly. So, yeah.
That is...
gotta think smart.
This is the best way with my intentions of what it is. That is 100% a PTSD thought of this is how I'll survive. Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm not saying it's wrong.
I've been kidnapped because I spelled the word correctly. I'll leave them crumb trails and I'll be okay. But okay, I will say that having the path that I now have, and the reactions I have now, that the next person, and I'll just say person that crosses me, is gonna have a violent reaction because that is my reaction now. Yeah. And I now know that if I don't react that way, I might not make it. Yeah. And I'm not gonna be that way the next time. Yeah. And I think that's the thing is there's so much buried female rage, especially because we don't seemingly prosecute the race so that much. So they're just walking around me. So this female rage, and my friends joke, we're just like, it's just gonna go down. It's just gonna
and bring it.
yeah, you bring it.
Last question, what makes you happy?
Just the air lately. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, therapy has finally done something to my brain. I can finally wake up and be happy.
Hooray.
So I would say it's just my life around me right now is making me really happy.
That's
and
great.
That's nice to be able to say, right?
100%.
I don't have to say I'm clinging to life because of my cats, which was a lot of my life was I had 4 cats and I lived for them. And that was the reason why I got up every day,
Yeah.
But now it's like, I've got a future. Which is nice.
It's beautiful.
It's good. It's good. And it's so nice to have met you. So I'll say thank you now.
No, my pleasure. You have to come back and do it again.
Yeah, I really want to. I really want to.
Not just, we won't wait till after the wedding, but it would also be good to come back.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good. You should get me pre-wedding so I could be all like, and then after it'd be like, oh, it's fucking done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is if I still know you in 10 years, I guarantee you'll be like, because this is what we were like, because we were like all about our wedding. And then after 10 years, we were like, why did we?
Right. No, I think that's my biggest fear is
I wouldn't have changed it, by the way.
With the spend.
Yeah.
And that's good to hear.
No.
Is that?
Because later on you go, oof. But then you also go, but.
I'm hoping that but's going to be enough.
Yeah.
And the fact is we're going to give everybody the night of their lives 100%. And us too. Right?
That's all it's about.
So,
as long as you two at the end of the night or end of the day or the week, because it is a week festival, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Are happy.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything went the way it should.
Yeah. And in the end, we're not doing a honeymoon. We're doing a big wedding, but we have 7 cats. Going away is hard. So, this wedding is...
I've got 7 animals.
Yeah.
And 4 kids. Don't I know it?
I do know a good pet sitter.
Yeah. Good to know.
These are friends of friends. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I will definitely come on again. I'm really hoping that this TikTok thing, I'm going to start transferring to YouTube.
Yeah, and TikTok handle is?
Miss X Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always looked at Miss Deadpool as an undeveloped character. I think she could be the female rage character. But anyway, it's another conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
We should do, actually I got people we should get on with you.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And do a total nerd out
give it to me.
of things.
Give it to me.
Because Deadpool, I'm guessing Deadpool and Miss Deadpool are your favourite. Are they your number one?
I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
I hate Lady Deadpool.
Yeah.
Again, another story.
Yeah.
But they half-assed that character so hard. They thought, we'll just inverse Deadpool, and I didn't really think it all the way through. But I'll save that rant.
We got to do.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
We should do. You know what we should do? We should do a Deadpool versus Batman debate.
Done. I can bring a friend that does Batman.
Batman's my
she can
number
sit
one.
On the other side with
Brilliant.
you.
Yes. And
we just have to find another Deadpool person. I don't know any.
Brilliant. We'll find one. All right. Thanks everyone for listening, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank you for
jump,
having me.
everyone.
Yeah. Cheers.